In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is very central to manifestation and the whole related subject of creating changes in the world with your mind. And I think a lot of people fundamentally misunderstand this or get it wrong. I'll tell you straight away that I call it proximity. Okay, so I'll explain what I mean by that. So the core of manifestation really is based around visualization. Okay, seeing something in your mind's eye. So where exactly do you see those things? So what I mean is, if you imagine now, you can easily imagine a flower, right? You don't even need to close your eyes. You can just imagine a flower. But where is it? So with me, it's I feel that I exist, that I'm conscious, and there's a consciousness around my eyes. And I think some people say it's around the navel, but most people feel it's around the eyes because vision is such a strong sense. So the energy of consciousness seems to coalesce around our eyes because we see through them. That's where we see the world. But of course, that's just where it coalesces. It's not actually linked to anything. I mean, we're embodied. We're in an embodied reality here. But we can leave that body sometimes. We leave it when we sleep and we can project out. But most of the time when we're conscious and we're awake, we seem to be around the eyes. And when I imagine something, say I imagine a flower, the natural place that it kind of feels that visualization is existing. In relation to my consciousness, it seems to be a little bit behind the eyes, kind of at the back of me a bit. In this imaginary world, so the imaginary world, sometimes I can close my eyes and it's like a separate place. But when my eyes are open and I'm imagining something, it's like the world, it intersperses this world. So I exist here in this world, and something that I'm visualizing, it's in another world, but it's also kind of here as well. So if I want, I can imagine that the flower is in front of me. It's here, say, on the table. Now, if there's somebody else with me, it's subjective. No one else can see it. But now I've located that visualization, the mental image. It's before me in relation to where I feel my consciousness is. Okay, so it can kind of project outwards. So I'll show you a way that this can work. Okay, so take something that you're grateful for, that you can see, have it in front of you, like, I don't know, some bit of jewelry or whatever. Something that you can feel gratitude that you have. Okay, now feel that sensation of gratitude and stuff. So it's maybe a sensation in your body which is like a little bit higher up in your body, rather than kind of the low depressive emotions you get down towards the stomach. But look at it and visualize it at the same time that you're looking at it. And then you close your eyes and you can still feel that sensation from something based on the visualization of it. Okay, but it's something that now you're orientating your emotion from something that you're seeing in your mind's eye. You could say the astral counterpart of it. So it gives you an idea then of orientating feelings from the inner world, which is really the key of it. And it's something Neville Goddard talks about in one of the books. It's one of the books about prayer, where he's saying, he gives the example of, like, if he wanted to be in New York, that's where his friends are, and he's not in New York, he would imagine, well, where are they in relation to me? Would they be north? Would they be south? So he's locating the things. In other words, he's pushing, the world is your mind pushed out, but your visualizations also need to be pushed out. So if he was in New York and he's not, then where would his friends be? So in reality, they're to the south, but they'd be to the north. Then he needs to imagine them there. So you're bringing your inner world, you're pushing out your visualization, okay? And you're orientating then your feelings from the pushed out visualization. I mean, maybe something is pushed out in the real world you can see with your senses, and it's not what you want. But then you can kind of push out a visualization of what you do want, and then you can choose to orientate your feeling from whichever you want. There are two worlds that you're living in. I mean, he gives another example to talk about Neville Goddard again. He was sitting in one room, and I think he was talking about a telephone. There's a telephone in another room, and he would practice going there and think where he is now, what's behind him, what's in front of him. And he would do that to the point that it was, when he opened his eyes, it was a shock. He felt that he was in the wrong place. He's pushing out the visualization to actually change his location. Okay. So he also said he could take to the point that he'd imagine himself in another place and other people would report that they could see him. Okay, so he's actually creating what I think he called a body of light or a world of light or something, which is really interesting because in occult parlance, then that type of projection is called the body of light. And he also said that he could go to another world and see deceased people, which I absolutely believe. But to talk about how you can use this and how you can get better at this, I remember when I was getting into all of these subjects and I was a young man a long time ago, I read a book by Opiel called The Art and Practice of the Occult. And it talks about the LBRP, the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, which is something that you don't need to get well into because I can give you a really simple explanation of why it's really important. But I remember reading at the time, look, it's this ritual where you draw a circle, you draw some pentacles in each of the quarter, north, south, east, west. It strengthens your aura, and then that's not the art and practice of the occult. I mean, it's a huge subject. There's magic and all this stuff. How can that be completely central? But now I actually get it. It is in fact central because what it does is, if you do that properly, and I've never really read it, I kind of intuited it. At one point I was doing it and a guide spoke to me and told me how to start off the ritual that just sparked everything. Now I've made a really, really simple version, okay? It's not based on pens, it's just based on simple shapes to give you the idea of how you do a simple little ritual to call the elements in your body, but then you do it as a ghost to train yourself to push visualization out and to reorientate yourself in another world. Now that sounds crazy, but you've got to just stick with me and we'll do it. So first of all, you locate north, south, east, west, and you're going to face to the east and draw the elements in each of the quarters. So you're facing to the east and you draw a blue circle, say a little blue circle of flames all around you. So you walk around in a circle and you visualize that you're now inside a circle when you return back to the east. Okay, and then you're facing the east. Now you do the as above, so below sign. And this is what my guide told me. Okay, I was shown this, but you point up to the heaven with your right hand and you point down to the earth with your left hand. And this is the kind of the poise in the magician card in the tarot. It means as above, so below. But you position your left hand forward slightly so that as you look forwards, you can see it in your peripheral vision. And you position your right hand backwards, slightly behind the body line, so you can't see it with your physical peripheral vision. But you can imagine it. You can imagine it. You can visualize where that hand is in the astral. So your left hand, so below, you can see physically. Your right hand, you can see astrally. And you are the link between the two worlds. Now, bring your right hand down and just to invoke air in the east, just draw a circle, trace it. So the top part would be roughly level with your forehead and the bottom part would be roughly level with your waist. Draw a circle and imagine a blue circle. Imagine beyond that there's a world that comes, which is, I always imagine a forest which is very windy and there are leaves blowing everywhere and I can feel that breeze on my face and say the word air, but kind of drop the sound down so you can feel it vibrating in your body. Now stay with me because this is really important. So then now walk to the south. The south is a red triangle. Draw a red triangle. So it starts, the top would be roughly level with your forehead. Bring your hand down so that it's level with your waist, and draw the red triangle like this. Okay. I always imagine kind of an erupting volcano in the distance, and I feel the heat, and then you say fire, and bring that, the second part of the word, down so you're feeling it vibrate in your body. Go to the west, and you draw a crescent moon there. Okay, so I think that the top left part would be roughly level with your shoulders, and you draw it down to be level with your waist, and the color would be white or silver. And beyond it, I always see the ocean and a beach, and I can smell the sea air and the kind of the wetness on my face. And you say water, and bring that sound down. Then go to the north, and the symbol is a yellow square. So the top left would be roughly level with your shoulder. Go to the right shoulder, then down to the waist. So draw it around like this. So it's a yellow square. Beyond that, I always imagine the entrance to a coal mine in a garden, although that's a little bit nuts. But as the breeze blows on me, I can kind of get that earthy smell. And you just say, and then you're done. So then you return back to a seat sitting in the east, and you're looking forward. Okay. And now you imagine a ghost you. Okay, so close your eyes and you imagine your body. So you can't see your body. The body you can see in your mind is the etheric or the mental. And you imagine that it gets up and it walks to the east, and it draws the symbol of air, which is of course the blue circle. Okay, and you can see through its eyes. And as it says the word air, you can feel the vibration there in its body. That's why you vibrate things in these rituals. It's to feel yourself into this other body. You're there seeing through its eyes. And as you draw, you need to think, where's your hand going to go? You can feel the body moving. So then you carry on and you do the other four quarters. So there's fire in the south. Now when the ghost you is behind you, it's facing opposite. Your physical body is still facing to the east, and you're seeing through the eyes of something, of your ghost body that's facing to the west, and imagining an ocean in front of it, and you can see air. And the thing is, when you first do this, it's like you're 99.9% your body, and you might go extremely tense because you're trying to see behind at the back of your head. Your body wants to turn, and it takes a lot of practice, to practice every day to be doing this. And as you walk around, you need to actually hold the image. You're imagining where you're embodied physically, so you're looking out to the east. But as you walk around this circle, you need to see. So in the east, there's the forest scene, and as you walk around, then you've got the ocean, and then you've got beyond the ocean, there's it's fire, then it's ocean, then it's earth. You've got to hold the visualization, because you'll keep kind of snapping back where you feel you're seeing from. And I'd say try and accept that. That's the answer. As you're walking around this circle, yeah, okay, look, you're embodied. You're in this physical body. So it's going to be 99.9% you feel that you're facing east, because that is a lifetime of experience of being in this body, that you are here, and your consciousness is located around the eyes, but it doesn't have to be. And when you keep on doing this ritual as a ghost, where there's two of you, then that feeling of being in the second place, of bilocation, it strengthens. Okay, maybe it'll be like 5% in the ghost and 95% in your physical body facing east. But you keep on doing that. And then this feeling of being in two places at once, it gets much stronger. So you carry on then to the north anyway as the ghost. Then bring the ghost back to the body and sit down back in your physical body. So you're done for the first part, and then just do some magic thing. So maybe you want to, pray, or you could do a manifestation scripting, or you could visualize, or you could light a bit of incense. That's fine, okay. But then to close that little ritual, you do the opposite. Get up as your ghost, start off in the east again, but you go the same way around, clockwise. Don't go anti-clockwise, but reverse the way you draw. So if you drew clockwise for the air symbol, do it anti-clockwise. Now you need to actually think. When you're behind you, left is right and right is left. So you need to think yourself more into that body. Okay? Go back. So when you finish, then you'll end up in the north. Sit back down, undo the circle. So you imagine the circle then disappearing, and you can trace around the circle and watch it being drawn back into you. And that's the basic little ritual that I've based on the LBRP, just to explain the way. Now there are people that are well into this kind of thing, that do the LBRP every day, and they do it with the full pentacles and everything. And I think they do it physically, and they don't really get what that ritual's about. But that clearly is it. Why do you need to vibrate things like that? Why does it matter? In the LBRP, you don't draw the shapes, you draw pentacles, and each pentacle it starts from a different place. So if you're going to, for example, invoke air, when you, instead of drawing a blue circle, you make a pentacle. It needs to start at the top left, and when you're closing down, it needs to start at the top right. So each one, it starts and finishes in a different point. So you need to really think yourself into the body. For example, when you're standing in the west, you actually, right is going to be left and left is going to be right, because you're in a different place. You're thinking from that ghost. And that is the essence of manifestation, of the law of attraction, of magic with a K. It's actually being in a different world. It's orientating yourself and your feelings from a world that intersperses this one, where you do have full control. For example, when you sit and you feel gratitude about something with your eyes closed, you look at an astral image of something that you own, but you can't see it. You're visualizing something that you're not looking at physically, and you're feeling happiness and gratitude with it. Now, when you're trying to manifest something, that's exactly what you're doing. You're looking at the astral counterpart of something and orientating all of your feelings from this astral counterpart. And when you open your eyes, maybe it isn't actually physically there now, and that should mean absolutely nothing to you, because as you do a ritual like this over time, then you start off 99.9% in this physical body, but over time, when it gets much more, that you may be 50-50, when you're doing this ritual, you can feel that you are actually in this ghost body, that the attachment to being physically seeing through the physical senses and physically located around the physicalized lessons, then it's much easier to orientate your feelings from the inner, regardless of what your senses can see. And then you start to live in another world, which is a world where you are in fact the creator. And you can see whatever you want to see, and you can have whatever you want to have, and you can choose every single thought, and you can choose every single feeling, and that is all that you need. Now, I could talk for maybe hours about this, and I'd better not. I know it's a little bit complex, so I'll try and make some extras to go around this. Maybe I'll write up the instructions as a PDF or something and put it on my website. So look in the description for any extras I create. And thanks for sticking with me this long. Think for yourself, because I'm not always right. And thanks for watching.